up, rock stars? It's Rox, and I'm coming to you today with a review for Love and Hip Hop Miami, Season 1, Episode 6. So let's get to it. Alright, you guys, I'm gonna finish this real fast because I really am starting to feel bad. I hope I ain't got that fucking flu anyway. Let's start with Bobby. Bobby says that he feels bad about how he treated Jeffrey. And he wants to fix it. So he's talking to Miami Tip, so she can just kind of help him figure everything out. So he's telling her exactly what happened and how he just slapped the fire out of Jeffrey. Miami Tip was just like, wait a minute, no, Bobby, now listen. That's the shit that we used to do. We trying to elevate. We on the shows now. We ain't got to do some of the same shit that we used to do when we was just in the club and just in the trap and just really just hustling. Because when you know better, you what? You do better. You can't be hitting on people, and Bobby realizes that. But he just feels like Jeffrey didn't even try to explain, and I was just like, you never gave him a chance to explain. You came in there with the dramatics, and then you swung on him. And even Miami Tip told him the same thing. It's up to you to apologize. Maybe give him some time to calm down and then contact him so you guys can have a talk. At the same time, Jeffrey is at the gym, he working on his fitness. He was like, a motherfucker ain't never got the one up on me and slapped the fire out of me, let alone somebody like Bobby. Okay, but I bet you it won't happen again. He's talking to his girls, Helen, and what was the other girl's name? Ebony. And he's telling them what happened. Well, you know what? Leave the nigga alone. Block him from all your social media so they can't see nothing. And just go on about your life. Yeah, that Jeffrey still ain't got over the humiliation of being slapped by Bobby on national television. Now we see Malik. Malik is feeling bad for all that happened at Prince's party. So he feels like he has to sit down and apologize to Prince. And he does that. Hey, listen, I'm sorry I brought all that, drama to your event. Okay, when that thing walked in and had the discussion with Jeffrey, and he was like, the thing, who you talking about? He said, that thing. He said, oh, you talk about Bobby? Yes, that thing. I was just like, why is he so, you really trying to be in the closet? The way you act, he was calling him a creature, not a thing. Prince was like, well, why did the creature, as you call him, even hit Jeffrey? He was trying to make it seem like you and Jeffrey were together. Malik was like, well, he did hit him because, he thinks that we're together because we are trying to be together. And Prince was like, oh. I was like, Prince, this is a perfect time for you to come out the closet. Prince said, you know what, he had an idea because of the mannerism, game recognized game. But you know what, he don't care, live your life. If that's how you want to be, then fine. Alright, I just ain't really trying to have niggas fighting at my damn parties. But you know what, it all makes sense now. As far as Prince is concerned, hey Malik, live your life. You only live once. Now Bobby, he's then took Tip's advice and gave Jeffrey some time to calm down, and then he calls him over so that they can have a talk. Okay, Jeffrey come over. He ain't really sure. He looking at him from the door like, nigga, you ain't got no more antics, do you? But Bobby invites him in, and Bobby is going all out to remind Jeffrey how much he loves him. And Jeffrey tells him, like, listen, all this is fine, but I'm still not over it, okay? The only reason I'm here is because you was calling like a fucking bill collector. I wanted you to stop. So they get to discussing / arguing about Bobby and the fact that he has no self-control. Bobby says, well, the reason why I did it is because when I walked up, you didn't even introduce me like, this is Bobby, this is my boyfriend. And Jeffrey was like, you didn't give me a chance to. Okay, even though Jeffrey is not sure exactly how he would have introduced Bobby. So, Bobby is just feeling real remorseful and bad about what he does. And he says, I just need you to forgive me, all right? Even if we don't work out as a couple, just as a friend, I still need your friendship. I need you to forgive me. Jeffrey tells him, yeah, I forgive you, but I'm not going to never forget. And pretty much as far as Jeffrey is concerned, their relationship is over. Okay, now I'm sitting here listening to this conversation, and I think Jeffrey is a cutie, and in some weird, strange way, I like Bobby as well, but I'm thinking to myself, like, he cheated on Bobby, and Bobby is sitting here going all out his way to apologize. Like, yeah, you shouldn't have busted a motherfucker in his face. Okay, ain't nobody really trying to do that, but you still aren't the one that's, technically in the wrong. He wouldn't have got the fire slapped out of him if he wouldn't have been cheating to begin with. So I was like, Bobby, I'm going to need you to recognize that you're not the wrong one per se. And then to twist the knife, Jeffrey tells him that he was getting shit from Malik that he wasn't getting for Bobby because Bobby was not around and, Bobby wasn't giving him the attention that he needs. And I was just like, not the Jedi mind trick too, nigga. Okay? If you have a problem with the man that you with, then break up with they fucking ass. That don't mean you're supposed to be with two different people at the same time. Okay, I was just like, oh, Bobby, you miss an opportunity here to be right. But, you know, Jeffrey, like I said, he says that they're done, and Bobby is crying, so he's heartbroken that that relationship is over. Now, Malik says that he has been struggling with, you know, the decision to tell Prince that he's out the closet ever since he made the decision, but he's doing all of this for Jeffrey. Okay, he really wants to be with Jeffrey, so Mona then picked out a heel top somewhere in New York. I said, y'all sure that ain't up by the Griffith Observatory up in L.A.? He out there parked in his nice car, and Jeffrey pulls up, and, you know, he's like, why are we out here? And, you know, Malik tells him how he told Prince, and, you know, he's putting it all on the line for Jeffrey because he wants to be with Jeffrey. You know, he becomes overcome with emotion. He got to walk off for a minute, and he come back. I said, baby, you still trying to run with this? You was in the closet. You was the most emotional damn man trying to play straight. Cut it out. But whatever. Jeffrey is touched by it. He says, you know what? There's a real possibility that him and Malik can be a couple. I said, well, I hope so, because the man done did all of this, child. You might as well be with him. You already told Bobby you done. Now, Gunplay. Gunplay is in a bad place because his homeboy Stro got killed. Gunplay said every time he tried to get out the streets, Carol City follows him wherever he goes. Okay, so he's really down in the dumps. He's trying to stay motivated. He's trying to keep on doing right, but the shit is just not turning out right for him. And now his homeboy is dead. You know, he don't know what to do. Kiara's trying to be there for him and be supportive for him, but she worried about him as well. You know, she was just like, I don't really know if he about to get back out there in them streets like that, but he's worked really hard not to be out there, so she's worried. Understandably so. So, you know, when they sit down and talk and he says that the streets is swallowing him up, you know, she was just like, baby, you've been doing so well. I just want you to stay focused. You know, I'm here for you. Yada, yada, yada. Because Gunplay just can't seem to get it together, he figures that some time with his homeboy, you know, maybe they can hang out and maybe that can take his mind off of the shit that's going on in the streets. So he meets with Scrappy out at like some club or something, and I was looking at Scrappy and I was like, oh, this was during that time when Scrappy was fucking out of control. Remember when I told you guys that I had to stop following him on Snapchat because he had these fucking stupid ass braids in his hair and he was always high and he was just with his homeboys every day and they was playing Xbox in the damn house and doing push-ups every time somebody lost. You know, this was during that stage when he knew his ass needed to be with Bambi, but he wasn't because he was trying to run away from her for whatever reason before he came to his senses. Okay, it was all over his face while he was there. He was high as fuck and he was trying to talk to Gunplay and just telling him, like, you know, what better way to get over what's going on in your life by, you know, hanging out with your homeboy and your girls and having a good time. Okay, so then in walks the feline girls. Okay, Chinese Nikki, Chinese Kitty, and you know, that just ups the ante on the crunk turn up that they about to have. Gunplay was like, no, see, this is not what I'm talking about. All right, I was saying I just needed time out with my homeboy, but I'm not really trying to get involved with the girls because my girl Kiara don't need to even know that I was fraternizing with them types. All right, so I'm gonna be out, and you know, Scrappy was just like, oh, okay, well, you know, whatever, less for the needy, more for the greedy. So they gonna go to the script clubs and listen to some music and party and Puss in Boots. Shout out to the rock star that gave me that name. I forgot I was supposed to be calling them the Puss in Boots, the feline girls. They all for it. Child, I was so embarrassed for Scrappy, but I was like, at least you get to see how ridiculous you was acting, and hopefully that when you see what you was looking like, what did I just say earlier? When you know better, you do better. And then since we're talking about Scrappy and his foolishness, let's talk about Bucky and her hair. She says that, you know, she's sad about what happened with P, but she's moving on. Okay, so she's out and about, and in walks Scrappy. I was just like, oh, God. This has got to be terrible for Scrappy and Bambi to watch. But whatever. He walks in, and again, he's got that same high, stupid, drunken fog that's hanging over his head. His eyes are low, and he's doing the same Scrappy talk that we have heard him say to all of these damn women that have been on and off of the show with him. Okay, basically how, you know, Bucky and her hair is the only one that knows him, and, you know, they've always had a relationship even when there was other girls, and, you know, he ain't never gonna let her go and all of this. And I was just like, Bucky in her hair was like, you the only one that hurt me the way that you did. How you planning on fixing this? And he was like, it gotta be God. It gotta be God. I was just like, what are y'all talking about? I hope that Bucky in her hair, now that Scrappy has decided to go off and be with Bambi and get married and everything, like, I hope that Bucky in her hair realizes that she has just been the good time fall back girl. And not even trying to be shady to Bucky in her hair. Girl, you deserve so much better. But whenever you get into that mode, when men start to look at you as that kind of woman, they will never wife you. They will never. Because you are now that to them in their eyes. Okay, so it's no way that Scrappy was going to be with Bucky in her hair, even if him and Bambi didn't make it together. Okay, young girls out there, I'm just telling you now. Okay, the way you want the man to look at you is how you need to present yourself from the beginning. Okay, now if you're just trying to be having some fun and you guys, get together every now and again, then that's fine as well. However, just remember, very, very seldom do they decide to wife the girl that they looked at as the side chick all along. Okay, understand that, girls. Auntie Rocky trying to put you up on some game. Scrappy is not what you need or what you want, Bucky in her hair. That's all I'm saying. Back to Kiara. She's in her room and she's just talking about how worried she is about gunplay and the backsliding. She's around the house and happens to stumble upon some drugs. I guess it was some drug paraphernalia. I thought it was a damn pregnancy thing at first, but she was looking at it and she said that it looks like that gunplay might be back on drugs, so she gets real worried. She does a dramatic lean against the wall and slide down to the floor. Oh my God, is gunplay back on that stuff? Trina's getting her hair done by Joy, and Don walks in. And I was like, look at that Don trying to secure the bag. And Don tells Joy how she was just really surprised to see her over at Trick's house. And, Trina was just like, what? She didn't tell me about that. Trina's hell-bent on getting Joy and Trick to break up. Okay, and I can understand you just being tired of the drama that might be going on between your cousin and, who's supposed to be sort of like your brother. Okay, but still, like, why are you this involved? 4 years of back and forth between the two of them. Just let them figure their shit out. I mean, I guess maybe because she feels like they both come to her with the bullshit, even though it seems like it might just be Joy. But I was just like, but you still involving yourself. Like, if all you got to do is be like, girl, I can't with y'all no more. Okay, whatever you guys decide to do, leave me out of it. But, Trina is just like, no, we gonna get them to break up. I'm having this event. We gonna be announcing our album, me and Trick together. And when you come, then you guys can have a discussion and you guys can move along this divorce. Okay, so Joy seems to be all for it, but I'm just like, why? So anyway, they go to the event, and after Trina performs, then they sit down with the interviewer and Trick Daddy come out there. And first they're about to talk about this album TNT that's coming out, and how they excited about it. And while they're talking to the interviewer, Trick realizes that Joy is there. So he just gets up and walks off, and Trina was just like, whatever, don't even pay him no attention. But Trick said that he feels ambushed. Because he feels like Joy just always popping up and trying to, just cast some kind of shadow on his sunshine. So finally he talks to Joy and he was like, Joy, tell me exactly what it is that you want. And Joy says, I want out. And he was like, okay, that's fine. That's good. We can be done with this whole thing. But I'm going to tell you right now, I am emotionally drained and I am hurt. I don't feel like having this discussion with none of y'all no damn more. Okay, Don and Trina, the mediators, whatever. I am done, though. So don't come talking to me about this shit no more. He gonna give Joy the divorce. Are they divorced now, you guys? And then lastly, you guys, Steph. So we see Steph. She's shooting a video. It's a glow in the dark. I guess it's supposed to be, some... new wave type of rap or whatever it is that she does. Child, I didn't even take the time to learn the song. But while she's there, Veronica comes to the shoot. And when she's done, she gets a break. She sits down with Veronica and she's telling her, like, when's the last time you talked to JoJo? Veronica was like, oh, it's just not too long ago. And she was just like, oh. JoJo trying to stir the pot. So, she tells her about the artwork and the party and how Mara La Negra had on all the wigs and everything and that it was cool. Okay, but she also says the Mara La Negra and how JoJo had went back and told her all the shit that they supposedly had said about her. And Veronica was just like, how can she do that? Like, I was supposed to be my homegirl. I sat there and talked to her about her damn family and how fucked up they were and how my family was a lot like them. And, we commiserated on a lot of things and I thought that was my homegirl. Now you trying to lie on me and start shit? Okay, Veronica says she needs to confront her. So Veronica does confront her, and it was during this scene that I realized that all of the Latina girls on this show is annoying. They all collectively get on my nerves, you guys. Veronica has such a bad attitude. Steph is the only one that seems to be somewhat logical. Veronica approaches JoJo just all the way wrong. She's upset that JoJo told her Mara La Negra, whatever it was that she told her, okay? And then she says, well, Mara La Negra also told me that you told her that you would never hang out with me, that I'm bougie and that I think I'm better than everybody. And Veronica was like, yeah, well, I did kind of say all of that, but you know, Mara La Negra, as my friend, shouldn't even have been going back and telling you that shit. Which is like, you know, all this back and forth, I'm just like, ugh, whatever. But Veronica is on 20 and she's yelling and she got a bad attitude. I mean, that girl just has a bad stank attitude to begin with. And then JoJo was like, listen, I'm trying to talk to you logically and you up here yelling at me, but girl, I ain't got time for this. Like, I'm a millionaire, okay, and I got a whole bunch of money and, you know, I don't have to be going I was just like, see, this is why she gets on my nerves, because, you know, if you're a millionaire, then be a fucking millionaire. What millionaire goes around and telling people that they millionaires? Okay? I can't stand a snob. You guys know that about me. She telling her that her being around Veronica cost her money. Like, why? How does it cost you money? Are you wasting time? Is that what it means? I mean, you got a business, right? That should be making money for you whether or not you're there. So what are you talking about? So she's like, I got a lot to lose and all that. Veronica was like, bitch, don't fuck with me because I don't have a lot to lose. Okay, I will whoop your ass and be done with it. And JoJo, you know, she got a cup of water in her hand, of course, so she throws it on Veronica and Veronica jump up like she trying to beat JoJo's ass. Like, bitch, don't try me, bitch, don't try me, don't try me. And security comes in and rushes in and get them. But I'm just sitting there looking at this whole scene like, okay, Veronica has a bad attitude, so she gets on my nerves. JoJo is a snob, so she gets on my nerves. I'm just over all of them girls. Alright, you guys, so that is it. Get in here and go back to work. You guys make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is for itsrox, and everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. Alright, so I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, rock stars. Bye.